No Pants Friday. No Pants Friday. No Pants. No Pants. No Pants Friday.
Yeah, that's right. It's back. The theme song is back.
Good. It's a good theme song.
I think so. Probably get some sort of Grammy, right?
I think so. I think Johnny deserves a Grammy nomination. Absolutely.
I think so too. Kara, hello. Hi, all no pantsers.
No pantsers. Trish.
Hey, Trish, what?
We never see Trish in his house.
What? Trish, what?
And then Karen's just naked all over the place.
What is up, guys? It is Friday, which means it's No Pants Friday. You're wearing leggings. So
I have leggings.
You're relatively you qualify under the no pants clause of the show. So anyway, hey guys, yeah, Trish, we were actually just talking about you last night because we went out for tacos at Taco y Taco. And then with Victoria Smith and Dorothy, and we were talking about when we went to what's the place, El Gordo or whatever the other one, and Teresa T Money was stuck outside in the hot
115
sun,
degrees,
and I just laughed while Trish, who she's a little bit more of a considerate person, was very concerned about Teresa being out in the hot sun,
about Teresa dying. Well, Brenda, we never see. Brenda, everybody's in the house.
What's happening? Sunny, hello. Anyway, guys, good to see all you. And that makes me. I'm hoping we're going to get to see Trish because we got our tickets booked.
We do. We have our tickets booked for Rhode Island, but I believe they do theirs the first Monday of the month, and that's not when we're going to be there. So we're not going to be there on a Monday at all.
I'm sure that since we're going to be on the other side of the country and relatively near, that Trish will see us even if we don't go to a meetup.
I'm hoping that Trish and Diane will make a little trek and maybe we can hang out.
Yeah, so we're going to be.
She's like, yes, we're going to change it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we will talk to you, and hopefully you can.
Either way, whatever. We plan to see you, Trish. So we're going to be. What are do you remember the dates?
I have no idea.
Anyway, sometime in May, right?
Yes.
Sometime in May.
We're going to be in Rhode Island in May, visiting the family, and hopefully some friends. And we'd love to do a meetup too, but I know it doesn't necessarily fit with their schedule. So, yeah, we'll see what it looks like.
So basically, we have no details right now, guys. But if any of you are in that general area,
I think I said it was the 16th through the 21st.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Just know that it's coming.
The 28th.
In May, we're going to be on the East Coast.
I don't know. Go look at my Facebook page. I did post it.
And we will hopefully get to see everybody. So, or anybody who can make it to wherever we're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that? Is that big enough?
That's super big.
Just trying to give a little bit of a heads up. Yeah, it's Jamie, but spelled Jammy. So, Jamie, how many times do you have to say that? And does it drive you crazy? You know what I have always gotten though, is because my name is spelled with a Y, very often I get called Kathy. Because people, it's like their brain can't comprehend a T and then a Y. There's going to be an H in there. So yeah. So anyway.
Well, I mean, it is Katie is usually Katie.
Not if it's spelled the cool way.
Sure.
And not short for anything. Because it's just, how dare you? How dare you? Yeah. Jamie says, I love telemarketers. I don't. Oh, and the other one's my last name. They have a hard time with Silverberg, even though it's pronounced exactly how it's spelled, exactly how it looks. I get Silverberg, Silverman, Zilberman. There's like such a ridiculous combination.
Totally looking forward to changing my name.
Yeah, pretty much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, guys, it is No Pants Friday, which is basically we have zero agenda. It's just our AMA, ask me anything, ask us anything. And you can ask personal questions, you can ask business related questions. If there's something that you've been wanting to ask that you haven't had a chance to on one of our other shows, this is the perfect time to bust it out. Yeah. Thrifty Chick says my daughter is JV spelled the correct way. Rude. That's pretty much how I say it. Well, and then you're Vicky spelled 2 Ks and an I, and there's like 20 million different combinations of how that
true.
could possibly
But that
be
is
spelled.
my nickname. I mean, my name is Victoria.
So
there's really only one way to spell Victoria. I chose to
spell it in a way that most people would get wrong.
Because when I was young, my mom spelled it Vickie. And then when I was 9, I changed it to Vikki.
You were one of those girls.
I changed it to Vikki because of Nikki Sixx and Ricky Rocket.
I went to school with girls like that who it's always like around 4th grade, 6th grade, around there where they decide they're changing their name and everybody's got to go along with it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I just changed how I spelled it, and it took my mom a good at least 5 or 6 years to come on board. She spelled my name the way that she intended it to be spelled for about 5 or 6 years, and because it's my my nickname, it really isn't. It's not my legal name, but I've been using Vikki now for. I'm going to be 44, so.
And then you went to the professional world, and she had a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. She totally doesn't have it anymore at all. And then whenever she'd meet somebody, she'd be like, "I'm Victoria. I'm Victoria," because you know what? You take Victoria's seriously, okay? But not Vicki's, just Victoria's.
True. I was a young, tiny, blonde girl working in the business world, and Vicki sounded too much like a cheerleader. So yes, I used Victoria.
Jamie's husband calls her James. I think that's pretty funny. All right. So, hey, Melissa has a great question. She wants to know if we use Terapeak, and if so, in what context. So here's the thing. I've seen Terapeak before. I've never really actively used it. But Vicki has used it for years. She actually just stopped using it, like this last year? But you had it.
I had a subscription to Terapeak for more than 10 years, and I used it all the time. I actually stopped using it when they revamped it right around the time that eBay had purchased it, because it changed a little of the ways that it worked, and it wasn't as significant for me, but mostly because I don't sell a lot of antiques and collectibles anymore. So for me, I didn't really need much further than the 90 days that you find unsold for eBay for stuff. But I used it for a very long time, and I loved it. And now that we have a free version, I'm super psyched. Like, I was grandfathered into paying $149 a month for Terapeak, $149 a year for Terapeak. So that tells you how long I had it.
Yeah.
Because I think they're pricing it I think right before eBay incorporated them, I believe it was up to $30 a month.
We are probably going to wait like a week or two, because I don't know that everybody has figured out where to find it and get their access to it and use it. Nothing ever seems to happen all at once. Right. But we are going to will do a Boss Up and List show, one of our Wednesday shows, and just kind of show Terapeak, because you actually have a lot of experience with it.
I've got to get in there and play around with it. Yeah. But I honestly haven't been. I just checked it out the other day to see how consistent it is. And quite honestly, it looks like it's back to the way it used to be. And so I'm super psyched about that. I really like having Terapeak. I've got to figure out a few things and check into seeing if the app is still viable and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty excited about checking it out.
More importantly, Key Lime Kisses has just figured something out. That you are an imposter. You are not the real Vicki. You're drinking water. You never know, though. It could be some of that Crystal Pepsi that she's put in the water bottle.
No. I don't drink enough water. Like Katie was just teasing me the other day. I definitely need to drink a lot more fluids. I don't drink just Diet Pepsi. That's my treat when we do the show. Usually I get one a day.
Otherwise it's coffee.
Or coffee. So I don't drink enough fluids, and I really need to be drinking a lot more water. Katie was teasing me the other day, if God forbid somebody had to cut into me to perform surgery, it would just
there'd be like a puff of dust.
So
Waste Not Whatnot, I'm assuming that's Mo. It should, some people say they already have it. I haven't checked yet to see where it's at. Also the offer to buyers thing. I know a couple people said that they just found theirs or just had theirs appear like yesterday. So it's coming. It should be all coming within the next, let's say, days.
I think it's probably going to be within the next couple weeks. We'll do the Terapeak thing, and we just want to make sure that everybody has it, and then we can do a little, a show on it where we'll do share the screen. We'll do it on one of our Wednesday shows.
Yeah, I'm just as excited to learn more about using Terapeak, because I do use, of course I use eBay, but I also do use WorthPoint, which I do really like WorthPoint, but there are definitely some holes in some of their data, because, well, not holes, but they draw specifically from vintage categories. So for instance, if I'm looking up a vintage t-shirt, it's only going to take the ones where the sellers listed them in the vintage category. So that, you know, if something sold that was a vintage t-shirt but was in a regular t-shirt category, you're not going to see those results, and so you're getting incomplete history. But it does give you more information than eBay does. So I think between those two services, hopefully that's going to help you a lot.
Yeah, I'll show you how TerraPeak works, but TerraPeak doesn't pull from a specific category, which is nice.
Well, I know, and it's going to be everything.
It pulls from all of them, and then you can narrow them down to categories, and it's kind of really good.
But it's not going to go back as far, right? Like WorthPoint, where WorthPoint goes back like 10 years.
That's true. So that's true. It's a little bit more relevant. So let's see. I'm sorry, Kara. I'm sorry about the loss of your friend and your brother-in-law. That sounds like a really rough week. I'm sorry for that.
For sure.
Offers to sellers is through your. It's not through TerraPeak. Offers to buyers is actually. It's not through TerraPeak at all. It's actually through your Seller Hub. You should have it on your Seller Hub, and it's rolling out to everybody. And if you don't have it yet, you will get it.
Yeah. If you go back and look at our videos, you can find the one where we talk about it, when it was called Offers to Watchers. They changed the wording, like how it shows up on the screen, but it's in your Seller Hub on your listings page where you can see the list of the active listings, and you'll actually see a little toggle. One says promoted listings, one says offers to buyers, and you just have that. It'll be there, and then you'll be able to check it and see.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a review of that again next week to show people how it looks. Let's see, Angie, I don't know if Herman is safe. I'm hoping Herman is safe. Herman was shipped to New York via FedEx ground, so he probably won't get there. I don't know when his estimated date of delivery was. I haven't heard anything yet, so I'm assuming if he arrives and is not intact, I will hear from the buyer. I'm hoping Herman has arrived at his new home safely.
Yeah.
I never follow tracking on items, and nor am I reaching out to the new owner. Just, you don't want to open that door.
Angie says WTF. She thinks that your lack of care is concerning to her.
It must be.
I hear ya.
DJ,
Lorna,
hello. Oh, hi, Lorna. I've had the new shipping page for several months now, and I didn't like it at first, but I've gotten used to it. It's like anything else. It's, once you've used it enough, I forgot what the old one looked like.
Yeah.
So
I really think that you should be tracking Herman on Instagram so people can watch his journey. If you care, you would. Anyway,
I'm sure FedEx doesn't give me that type of
DJ. I actually don't even have the new eBay shipping page yet. It still hasn't switched over for me. I will say I'm bummed that when they did the shipping increases, the eBay now, it used to be that eBay and Pirate Ship were the same, and now they are a little bit cheaper on eBay, because I was ready to make a complete switch and only use Pirate Ship, but eventually maybe. Yeah. So now that you said that you were used to it for a while, but now that you've had it for a while, do you think it's better than the old one, the shipping page?
I don't think it's any different, really.
Okay.
It's just a new format. Once you get used to using it, I don't think it makes a difference one way or the other. It might be a little bit more user friendly. It automatically will come up with the cheapest way to ship, which is kind of annoying because that may not always fit what you need to do. So I don't know. It's like anything else. You just have to get used to it. It's pretty easy to use. It's just.
Were you one of those ones who hated Seller Hub when it first came around?
No, I was in beta testing for Seller Hub. I've had Seller Hub for so long now, I don't remember what it looked like without it. I've had Seller Hub and promoted listings for about 3 years now. So I generally am part of the beta testing for almost everything. The only thing I was not part of beta for was this new managed payment program, because you had to opt in for that, and I chose not to.
Yeah. Leslie, I don't know about promo codes because I've never used them, but are there actually coupon codes?
Yeah, you can add promo codes. I haven't done it in a very long time, Leslie. You're probably better off Googling that question. I will tell you that I used to do it for years and years and years. I sent out thank you cards on a postcard, colored postcards, all that kind of stuff for codes and using coupon codes. I will tell you, I never had a single person use 1 out of 1,000 sent. So if you're going to do it, definitely do it very inexpensively, if not in a free way, because I don't think they're very effective.
Yeah. Allison chiming in, still in Hawaii, suckers. Are you ever coming home? You're there for like 3 weeks or something, right? Well, I hope you're having a good time.
So I think she said she's coming home Sunday.
Yeah. Debbie, have you ever been scammed on returned packages, the original item not returned? I have not. And first of all, I'm going to say yes, things do happen. Things do go back poorly. There are bad buyers, there are bad sellers, and all the above. Generally, vast majority of the time, everything goes as it should. I have never been scammed. I've never had somebody send me the wrong thing back. You have had?
I've had it happen exactly twice in 15 years of selling and in 25,000 transactions.
Yeah.
Twice. The first time happened more than 10 years ago. My buyer opened up a return on a vintage G.I. Joe place set type of thing. And they sent me back a 5-pound weight.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. And at that time, that was when eBay was definitely all about just for the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time after Meg left. We talk about those of us that have been on eBay for a long time refer to those as the dark ages, where eBay was absolutely only buyer focused, and there was no way to appeal anything, and I lost my money and the item, and it was a pain in the neck. But that was the only time that happened. The more recent time that it happened was a few months ago, where I sold a TiVo, DVR, and it was new, and my buyer returned their old unit, and that happened maybe 5 or 6 months ago. And I called eBay, and they reversed. They protected me and gave me a full refund.
Yeah.
So
that's not to say, that bad things don't happen. It's just, I think for me, the biggest thing that I try to impart on other sellers, especially newer sellers, is that you're going to hear a lot of horror stories. You're going to hear people tell about something really bad that happened. And maybe it's going to keep you from wanting to either sell certain things or sell online at all, or it's going to make you want to put up all kinds of blocks and policies that you think are going to protect you. Did it just get really dark in here?
It did.
Weird.
I don't know what happened.
It must be cloudy outside or something. Which you're going to do all these things that you think are protecting you, but really they're making it more difficult for honest buyers to buy from you, because you're going to think that you're protecting yourself. And so if you understand that it's something that happens relatively rarely, then you can just kind of, I guess, to a certain degree, not worry about it. If you're following all the policies, eBay generally is going to protect you. And occasionally,
exactly like JV says, you don't hear when everything went the way it's supposed to. You hear about people that bitch and moan and complain about difficulties, and it's not to say they don't happen. The reality is that most people are good. Most people just want to receive the item that they purchased in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now, that being said, there are absolutely certain categories that are more high risk than others.
Yes.
I do not sell in high-end jewelry. I do not sell in electronics, certain electronics categories. I wouldn't be a person that is selling in gaming systems and cell phones and things like that, because they are super high fraud categories, high risk categories.
And if you're a brand new seller and you have zero feedback or only a couple feedback, then you are going to, and you're selling in high risk categories. Let's say you're I'm going to start an eBay account and I'm going to start selling, these electronics or whatever. You are going to attract more of the scammers. It's going to happen.
But it does happen, because if they're going to try to prey on someone that has zero to low or low feedback. So it does happen.
Yeah.
Do we have a new pic on the wall with cat's eyes?
No, you're probably looking at that prom night picture, I'm assuming.
Is that new?
No.
Did you trade it out?
No, it's been there for a while. Anyway, yeah. So stuff happens. It just does. Just like if you have a brick and mortar store, somebody can walk in and steal something and walk out. Somebody can break something. There's any number of things that could potentially happen. And to a certain degree, it's you have to be ready for that. You open a restaurant, you're going to have somebody who dines and dashes. Mm-hmm. And the first time that happens, you're probably not going to be a great restaurateur if you're I'm closing my doors forever. So it's you got to take the bad with the good.
And Sunny, I have to tell you, I just realized that you were the one that bought that iPod from me. You never mentioned to me. She's the only person that has ever purchased something from me that is a YouTube follower. So I thought that was pretty funny. I just realized that. Yeah, that iPod was one that I had picked up at a garage sale. So it was preloaded, but it was preloaded with, I don't even know what was on it. So it wasn't my choice.
That's kind of fun though,
but
right?
I did sell it as it being preloaded. Remember, I bought the charger for it and everything?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Angela Myers just busted out a $10 super chat. What? We'll get to your question, but let me do a little super chat. Super chat. She's super chatty. All right. Do you guys feel like 10 to 20% of your inventory being sold every month is average, good, or awesome? I'm pretty sure my take-home margin is near 40% after fees, taxes, etc. Am I on track as a noob?
I think 10 to 20% of your inventory being sold every month is awesome.
It is. However, it all depends. So we have separate businesses, separate stores, but we operate pretty similarly. And the way that we price our items, we go on the higher end of things. We also sell a lot of clothing, or you sell a bunch of other stuff too. Stuff that generally takes a little bit longer. But because we do higher prices, some stuff does take a little bit longer. So I sit around 10%, but that's okay. I mean, I'm happy with that. But if I'm working with,
I'm about 10% as well.
If I'm working with big margins, like I'm netting about 60%. But if I was working with really small margins, high volume, and I was only doing 10 to 20%, that'd be a problem. But I think, Angela, you're doing all like one-off stuff that you're thrifting. I think 10 to 20% is great.
And 40% is not a bad profit margin. You want to work on increasing your ROI, and your profit margin is going to grow as your average sale price grows. So
yeah, and I think I remember seeing that you said something about in the boss group about having like an average around like $20 average sale price. So focus on pushing that up, because I remember when I very first started, I had my first sale December 2015. I got to bringing in full-time income around October of 2016. So I built up very quickly up to about 1,000 items at that point. And I remember that's when I first started keeping track, and I was at $25 average sale price. And I started focusing on that. And I remember the next month in November of 2016, I was at 30. Then I went to 35, then up to 40. And now I'm somewhere in the 50s. So it's just another thing that you can do.
It's just sure to increase a little bit over time. ROI stands for return on investment. So if you spend $1 and you sell something for $30, that's a really, really good ROI is what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna, as your price grows, as your average sale price grows, as your knowledge base grows, you're going to end up with higher average sale prices.
Yeah. And you got to take into account everything else though too, because even if it's $1 sells for 30, is it something really heavy that's going to cost you $10 to ship? Is it something, how long does it take you to prep it and take pictures of it and package it and send it out? There's a whole bunch of other things. So $1 to 30 can be great. If it's $1 t-shirt, you sell it for 30. But if you pay $1,
yeah. And she's buying at the bin, so you're paying under $2 or so for every item. I think you're doing excellent. And as your knowledge grows, you're going to want to branch out and buy, maybe spend a little bit more to get items. But right now, starting as a newbie, that sounds awesome. You're definitely on track.
Yep.
Angie, did we get a pic of Herman? Well, I have lots of pics of Herman because I had the listing before I shipped him off to hang his picture on the wall. Oh, maybe I should print out a picture of Herman to hang on the wall.
Okay,
I could do that.
I think that would be good. But like a headshot, like just the face.
Yeah.
So it's like real big.
I have a good one on his face. Let's see. I can't recall if you've said what made you move to Vegas. Jen asks. I may have or may not have. So I moved here. It'll be 6 years in June. I moved with my ex-husband. And at the time it was, I was in nursing school and I was going to school to become a burn nurse. And I was we were ready to move, mostly to get into somewhere where there was good weather. And partly because, and this was on the list of 2 places. And we moved to Vegas because they had an excellent burn center, which ironically is the burn center that Katie ended up in back in December. So it's very, very strange. And that was the hospital that I intended to work in. And so that was one of the reasons. And the weather was another reason. And it was at the time in my life where my daughter had just moved out and we were very young empty nesters. And it was basically either move with her now, because I brought her with me, either move with her now, or we waited until she was older and had her own life and we would have been on opposite ends of the country. So she chose to come with us. And now she's on her own anyway. And actually she moved back to Rhode Island this year. So, but it happened. So yeah, I love it here.
Jesse likes your face during the super chat song. But Angie says I do the Herman grin really well. I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to do without seeing his face. It's like this
because he looks a little worried. If his eyes were moving, there you go.
I like Kara's got a new acronym for pricing while she's listing, and it's WWK and VD. What would Katie Vicky do?
KNVD. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, like yesterday, there's somebody in the boss group, Kathy, I think, who posted, because of watching our show, because of me doing like vintage t-shirts and stuff, she decided to try and do some stuff, and she picked up her first vintage t-shirt, and it was a really awesome Woodstock 94 tie-dye t-shirt.
I was there.
Yeah, and she was asking for advice on pricing, and you know, everybody was trying to help, but they were basing it on the comps on eBay and other places, and it's like sometimes it's not super. I don't think the comps are always the most helpful. It's like once you get better at this job and better at specific items, you'll start to know, kind of like your game, the mall game. What's it called?
Mall Madness.
Mall Madness, where the comps don't always tell the full story. And so people, based on the comps that were out there, were saying like, you know, oh, $25, $35 maybe. And it's like, the reality is I sold a shirt from the same, from Woodstock 94, like last month for $70. And it was a tie-dye one, but the one that she found is even better because it's got like all the bands listed on the back. And I think she can totally sell
at least 100. Yeah.
Yeah. So telling you, don't underprice your stuff, man.
Yep, definitely not. Sheila, she says, I have an item that a buyer told me arrived broken from FedEx. She does not want a refund, which seems strange. Has this happened to you, and what did you do? I've never had a buyer not want a refund when something was broken. If they don't want a refund, I wouldn't mess with it. Let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it seems strange, but
I guess just letting you know. What's up, Aaron Klug? I assume I am pronouncing it right. Klug. I like saying it though.
I don't know.
Kluge, kind of like the luge.
Well, it's like that's kind of how it's spelled with a K. I don't know.
So is it Klug or luge? Kluge.
I don't know. Are both of you selling on eBay only? Actually, we both have two stores. So I should say we each have an individual store. We both sell on eBay, two different businesses, and we both
also sell on Etsy.
So we both sell on Etsy as well.
Yeah, so we each have a store on both those platforms. Wait, Klug E or is it Kluge E? Sorry, Aaron, just bust you. But yeah, so yeah, we do both. We just got into, you know, I did some dabbling in Etsy over the last couple of years, but it's only been since this last summer, and it was when all those glitches were happening at eBay, and things were feeling a little bit out of my control. And so I was like, I'm just going to start putting a lot more time into Etsy. And so now Etsy and eBay go hand in hand, and as I'm listing on eBay, I'm simultaneously listing anything vintage on Etsy at the same time. So that's why, you know, if I have like a really good listing day and let's say I get 25 up on eBay, I'll probably get like 20, 22 up on Etsy at the same time. So I keep them going simultaneously.
And I started on Etsy a couple of years ago, much like Katie. It was half-hearted. I think I threw 50 things up there and never touched them again. And then I didn't do anything with it until occasionally I would sell something on Etsy that had already sold on eBay and go, oh crap, I sold that like 6 months ago on eBay. So I didn't really do anything with it. But back in October, I started cross-posting all of my vintage clothing and hard goods items on Etsy. And I'm at 980 listings on Etsy now. So it's, you know, almost half of my listings on that are on eBay. So they're that are cross-posted.
So Sunny wants to know, how does shipping costs work into selling on Etsy? It's very similar to eBay. You can choose to charge shipping. You can choose to do free shipping. Etsy, like eBay, is moving towards, they really are encouraging free shipping. That's what they like too, but it doesn't mean you have to. She charges shipping. I don't. It's just easy. I like having everything be free shipping. So yeah, it's exactly the same.
Or you can set a flat rate.
Yeah, however you want to do it.
You can set it up the same way you can on eBay. You have your own options.
However you want to do it.
Kluge.
All right. Kluge.
Now we got it.
More needful things. If someone claims that the item they purchased is defective, do you still have them send it back at their cost or just issue a refund? It really depends on the situation.
It depends on the item. Is it a $10 item we're talking about and then it's going to cost you return shipping? Meh. I would probably just refund and be done with it. If it's something that may or may not be defective, or it might be something you can fix, or it might be you could resell it even for parts, then sometimes I would pay to have it back. It really depends on what the item is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Dixie Girl said, I thought Etsy was only for things that are handmade. Used to be. That was how it started.
It changed a few years ago, because I know when I first started messing around with it, it was like the beginning of 2017. And so it's handmade items, or not, you know, it's just stuff that you made yourself, you manufacture yourself. Or I think you can pay somebody else to be manufacturing it for you. Crafting supplies, and then anything vintage, and they categorize vintage as being 20 years old or older.
Correct.
So clothing, I can sell clothing as long as it was made in 1999 or before. I sell records if they were made in 1999 or before.
I sell everything that is 20 years or older.
Yep.
Let's see, Angie, hey, what happened to that nightclub? Did they close the doors? I think they're fighting the closure. I really don't know. And I don't know that it had anything to do with anything. There's a whole bunch of different rumors as to why it was closed. It was a bar in Vegas, may or may not have been run by some shady people, had some shady stuff going on there. I don't know. I really have no idea. It's there. I don't know anybody intricately involved, so it's just rumor mill now. So
yeah, I don't know. Sharon, rearranging my subscriptions, trying to save money. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things that you could be using and you're paying money for, and you just have to determine what it is that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So for instance, I use Sizely because I exclusively pretty much just sell clothing, and so I use it every single day. So to me, $8 a month is a perfectly reasonable price to be paying for that. But I can understand if you're going to be getting Terapeak free with your store subscription, that you might not want to pay for something like Worth Point. So it just depends on what it is that you do.
And what it is that you sell. So Sharon, if you're not selling antiques or collectibles that are hard to find, to be quite honest with you, Worth Point may not be the best investment for you anyway.
Worth Point's excellent.
Terapeak might be good enough, but Worth Point is excellent for hard to find collectibles and antiques.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, DJ, on Thursday, I found my first 3 single stitch shirts, made USA, 2 screen stars, Freddie Cannon, Tallahassee, Lassie, New Orleans, and a Californians is for lovers, that's funny. Yeah, very cool. You know how I feel about my vintage t-shirts. I get real excited about them. And I think still to this day, you see ones that I get excited about and you're like, what?
Still. And I should be used to this by now, but still I'll be like, really? That one? Some I get, you know, some I would probably get myself, and I understand, and I'm with you, and I'm same thought process, and then I'm like, really?
Yeah, seriously.
Baker family reunion from 1986? What the frig? Why do you want that? Like, that's the kind of stuff that she'll buy, and I'll be like, I don't understand. And then she'll sell it, and I'll go, who the hell bought that? I don't understand.
How do you run your sales? How do you do your sales?
So for me, I run everything in my store is always on some kind of a sale, anywhere from 15% to 25% off, and I change the percentage every week. I run my sales Wednesday to Wednesday.
I do my sales Friday to Monday, Monday to Friday. So I break it up into 2 different sales because I like having like a weekend sale. To be honest, it's usually the same amount. Sometimes I'll tweak the percentage off a little bit, but you know, I like having that. I like having stuff be on sale, and then I like having that countdown because the last 24 hours of every sale, it will say like only this much time left in the sale. So I like getting that twice a week. So that's just the way I do it. But you know what? Everybody has like their own secret special sauce. They're like, you know, 13% is the one that works for me. And so it just depends on, you know, you got to play around with it. Different. You got to play around with it.
Yeah. I mean, everything in my store always has a sale on it, and that's just really what it is. Yeah. So Mo, whatever happened to back office access for employees or virtual assistant? They announced it at eBay Open last year. Good question. In fact, I asked that very same question recently. To some very important people at eBay. They are behind on that feature. They did admit that they dropped the ball, and they are behind on that feature. It was supposed to be out first quarter. First quarter is pretty much over, and it is not coming out first quarter. They are still working on it, and they expect it to be done by, I think they said June.
Yeah, so who knows? They are working on it. That's what we can say. That's all we really know.
Joan, I'm not sure. I mean, the Mandalay Bay is a huge hotel. I don't think the rooms are necessarily going to sell out during the week, but the price may change. So I would definitely check into that. You can always get a hotel in Vegas. Yeah. So you'll be able to find something if it's not that one.
Sunny,
you might lose that price.
I run my sales immediately. So we usually I have my sales end at noon on Mondays and Fridays. And then I usually wait like about an hour before I start a new one. I give it about an hour because sometimes it lags a little bit and it takes a while. I think they suggest like waiting 2 hours in between. But I figure, I mean, I find that an hour is fine. So
let's see.
Jamie says, I'm really loving the promotion feature where I can run a buy 3 get 1 free. It's giving me a 40% sales left on my buy it now items.
That's awesome.
That feature works great when you have a lot of like items. I know you've tried stuff like that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me because I have such a variety of items.
But because I do all men's clothing and I have like 900, literally like 900 t-shirts, the majority of which are vintage. It actually does work for me to have that. I don't think I have one running right now, but I've had it work multiple times because people who are collecting vintage t-shirts will be like, oh, cool. And then they go and look through my inventory. So
Dixie Girl said, I just found a Pendleton men's vest. I guess I need to list it on Etsy at a higher price being vintage. Go for it. I would.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. Kara, when going on vacation, do you just change handling time or put the store on vacation too? I always just extend handling time because I would prefer to make some money versus no money while I'm gone.
Yeah. And that's another thing. It just depends on how you want to do it. But we've extended our handling time as much as 10 days before.
And we're going to do it again in July. We'll be making, when we go to camp, we're going to be gone for 10 days. There will be a few. So far, we have not missed a week doing the show, except for when Katie was in the hospital. And even then we did one that week. So there are going to be times coming in July where we will not be doing the show. So we will be on vacation for an entire week at least because we cannot do the show from camp.
Yeah.
So
Jennifer said, my mom just walked by and said, I know why you watch them. Their voices are so entertaining. I could listen to them all day. Aw, that's pretty cool. Thanks, Mom.
Let's see. Philip Leitner asked, any word on when eBay is going to fix the over 13-ounce first class calculated shipping problem? Honestly, I have not heard much about it because I don't use calculated shipping. It hasn't affected me nor
Well, what's the problem?
I don't know what the problem is.
Are you talking about, first of all, I'm going to have to say this, guys. You shouldn't be using calculated shipping for first class items because the problem is eBay charges retail rates when they do calculated shipping, whether it's international or domestic. And if you look at the rates for first class, it tops out at $9.45, I think $9.45. But with your discount gets greater as it goes higher. And so I think the most that you have to pay with your discount is like $5 something. So I don't know if that's the problem that you're talking about, because I do know that like it's but basically bottom line, the best way for you to fix the problem, and I don't know that it's a problem because it's just that's how they would do it. They charge retail rates for calculated. So really what I would say is don't do calculated shipping for any domestic shipping. It really, it doesn't work for anything over a pound or under a pound, really. You're going to end up overcharging people.
Joan says, we're lucky we live in Vegas. We don't necessarily have to book a hotel for eBay Open. You're right.
Yeah, we're not going to.
We're not booking a hotel. We'll be staying at home, and we actually have 2 people staying with us.
I'm just going to sleep on the floor in Mo's suite.
Okay. So yeah, we are lucky. Although to be fair, if eBay Open were held in another city, we would both go.
Oh yeah, for sure we would go.
I understand that we're fortunate that we live here, so we don't have to pay for flights or hotels. But we would be going.
Yeah. Which we are really lucky because we do have to, because here's the thing, it would make it very difficult for us because we do go to the burn camp right before. This is going to be my first year going. And so
we're going for 10 days.
We're going to get back the day before open and we will have been gone for 10 days. So we have to travel for that and then travel back, and we can't be, we won't be able to get any work done. So for us, it's a big blessing. It's a blessing to be able to have it here in Vegas.
It's a 2-week vacation, basically, from our stores and from our business. Because when we come back from camp after 10 days, we have 1 day to get the house ready, get everything clean, get ourselves ready after 10 days of no sleep, and get 10 days worth of shipping done before our guests descend on the home. So it happens.
Yeah. Oh, and Mo says that she has an extra room at Mandalay Bay locked in at $74 plus resort fees. And she posted it in the eBay Open Facebook group. So if you guys are going to eBay Open or planning to, you should make sure that you're in the Facebook group.
Okay, so Phil said it's calculating over 13 ounces as priority instead of using first class to 15.9. I got it. Yeah, I would say definitely just keep contacting eBay through eBay for Business. Keep contacting eBay through report problem through the seller hub.
Are you sure it's calculating as what does that mean? It's calculating as priority. Like, what's the price?
It's
because I think that's just the price.
I don't know. Jackie said, what do you put if not calculated? We don't charge for
you can either do free shipping
class,
or you can do a flat fee. So for what we were saying is that with your discount, the most first class, if it's a 16 ounce or 15.9 ounce item, first class, I think the most is like $5.45 or something. I don't know if that's right to the penny, but it's 5 something. So what you could do is, if you want to charge for first class, is you just charge a flat amount of $5, let's say. And then that way, anytime it's under that amount, you're going to save a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then occasionally it'll cost a little bit more, but it'll all kind of even out in the end. Or you can just do free shipping. But I'm just curious, are you sure it's calculating as priority, or if that's just the retail price for a 16 ounce or 15.9 ounce? I mean, I know that retail, it's 9
okay, so
something.
Alexa said retail first class is like priority. It's bananas. It's not coming in right. Yeah, sorry. That definitely is an issue. Keep hounding eBay to fix that kind of stuff for sure.
But again, I'm just going to say, I'm going to advise, whether there was a problem or not, don't do calculated for first class.
Put the guests to work, make them help you ship. Depending on when they come in, it's Allison, Big Drift Thrift, is coming in from Alaska and staying with us for eBay Open, and Lorna is coming in and staying with us from eBay Open. So if either one of them are here, yes, they will be put to work helping us ship on Monday, depending on when they get here.
But we're planning on being home probably late Saturday. We talked about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the trip a day short. I usually fly in the day after camp, but we're going to try to come in late Saturday night so we can at least get in, sleep, and get all our work done on Sunday instead.
Mm-hmm.
So that hopefully that'll help.
Yeah,
let's see. There was a question in there somewhere.
All right, guys, it's No Pants Friday. That means any questions. You can ask us anything here. Business or personal.
Oh, Jen Lee asked, is Vegas as glitz and glam as it seems? I've never been there, but almost moved there in the 90s. I've always been sort of obsessed with it. Well, we live in Henderson, which is about 8 miles outside of Vegas, where you think of the Strip and all that kind of stuff. So we live in the suburbs. Henderson is absolutely cookie cutter suburbs. And anywhere outside of Vegas, the Strip area is cookie cutter suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, the Strip is, and its little offshoots like downtown and things like that. It is as glitzy as it seems. It's lots of bright lights, shiny things, people, places. It's packed. It's like New York City or any other major city. It's a lot of fun, but once you live here, you very rarely go.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't.
But yeah, I can't. There's parts of it that can be glitzy. So Jackie, no, if you put a flat rate, it does not affect international. When you do your shipping, either if you do business policies or if you're doing it by listing, your domestic shipping and your international shipping are completely separate policies or separate things that you set up. So you can have a flat rate for your domestic, which we would suggest doing flat rates for your domestic shipping. If you are charging, do flat. And then for international, you would do calculated, because it makes sense for calculated, because with international, anything up to 4 pounds is going to be the same rate by weight, regardless. Whereas domestically, you have to think about, you've got first class, you've got padded flat rate envelope, you've got medium flat rate, you've got cubic priority, you've got all these different things that affect the cost. And so if you do a calculated, and let's say it's a priority, and it's like 4 pounds going to New York, it's going to cost like close to $20, however much, $20,
more than 20,
whatever, $30, but it can fit in a medium flat rate, so it's only going to be 12, whatever. It's like, it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Kara, have either of you zip lined downtown?
I have.
She has. I have not.
Hated it.
I totally would, and I think it would be fun. However, I hate standing in line for shit. So the idea of paying $40 to stand in line for a few hours so I can do it just doesn't sound very like.
And every single day of the week, it's a few hour wait. Yeah. So it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So if I could just walk up and give them my money and then jump on and zip on down,
you can set an appointment. You can choose what time you want to go, but you're still waiting in line for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joan, please come up and approach us. No, we don't just all hang out with YouTube people. We're not like celebrities or anything. We just happen to share our lives with you.
We hang out with all you guys.
We hang out with everybody.
We hang out with everybody.
And say hello.
Ask Kara. Kara's been there. Any of you guys who have been to Open, I mean, this last Open was the first one that we were at where we were. Well, I mean, the first Open I went to in 2017, I was a Shine finalist, and then I became a winner. So I did get a lot of attention that year. But last year was like the first year we went where like we had a YouTube channel. and I think anybody who knows us or who was there and met us last year can attest to the fact that we're not just hanging out with YouTubers.
We talk to everybody.
Yeah.
So Aaron asked, what percentage do you use for promoted listings? Does it vary according to the item? And do you run sales in addition to promoted listings? So you want to answer that first?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. What am I looking at?
What percentage
do you use? I personally, for the most part, use trending rates. Some things I will use lower rates if it's something. There's certain items where there's only a few of them, and so I don't really have a lot of competition, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, personally, I just go ahead and use those. I made adjustments to my percentage off and like how I priced items because I decided to use trending rates. So there's just other ways that you can deal with it. But I do run sales at the same time. So I price my items to accommodate sales, best offer, and promoted listings.
Can you scroll back so I can finish?
Yeah, it went real fast all of a sudden.
So for me, what percentage do I use? I used to always use between 5 and 7 as a flat percent, and I do use it at the same time as sales because my sales are always going. It does not vary according to the items personally. But I recently, and this is part of my testing the theory, I recently went to using trending rates.
Mm-hmm.
And I just flat across the board use trending rates. I don't micromanage. I don't look at each individual one. I have 2,500 listings. It's not even possible to look at every single one.
Right.
But I went and looked and did it on trending rates. And I have seen an enormous increase in sales.
Yeah.
I will say it's costing me about $100 more a month in promoted listing fees, but my sales are up over 35% over last year.
And right now you're having like fourth quarter numbers in the first quarter. So it's kind of crazy.
Sharon, I don't know that they necessarily have one has anything to do with the other. Again, you're never really going to know. You can't know because you can't quantify an unknown. You can't say, would this item have sold without the promoted listing? You don't know. All I can say is if they do have if one has to do with the other, then I'll take it.
Well, 100%, I can guarantee you that the whole concept of impressions, putting something in front of somebody, there's a reason why television commercials, billboards, all these things are used in order to get people to buy products. Is because it does work. And promoted listings gets your stuff in front of more people's faces. You're getting double the impressions because you're getting the promoted version and you're getting your regular listing. And depending on the rates, it's gonna affect the placement. So that's just a reality. Are you gonna know exactly which ones sell because of or would have sold? You can't ever know if it would have sold anyway. But real quick, Sharon, I don't know if you're talking. I don't think you're talking about calling it the right thing. Seller Hub is just what the eBay.
She's talking about Selling Manager Pro. It's an additional cost if you have a certain store.
What is that? Oh,
so if you have under Premier Store level, it is a certain cost. You mean Selling Manager Pro? What is the value? Sharon, I honestly at this point I couldn't tell you because I've had it for so long. I don't know what it's like to not have it.
Yeah.
I've had it since before there was a charge for it. So I truly do not. eBay has just changed so many times over the years. It's very difficult for me to go back and remember what things looked like 10 years ago. So I can't answer that question for you. Somebody who has recently changed might be able to answer that question for you better. I would pose that question in the Boss Facebook group.
Yeah. Faded Taco location. We go to the newer one. There's an original location that's a lot smaller. We go to the one that's closer to us on Eastern is the one that we go to, and we love it because it's delicious. How many listings? Sonny says, how many listings do you suggest I have in a store to sell every week and make $100 a week or more? That that's not a question you can really answer because it depends. There's so many factors.
Depends on what you're selling and what your cost of goods is and what your average sale price is and what your is all of those things. So if your average sale price is $20, and then you need to sell 5 things, and if your sell-through rate is 5%, then you need to have 100 items listed. That's just an easy way to do that math, but there's a lot of different factors that go into it. So it would be tough to say.
It's really, really tough. I mean, to make $100 a week or more, I mean, really, yeah. Sorry, we're terrible at answering those kinds of questions because it's just impossible. It's really impossible. I think that I know for me personally, it took I had to pass the 250 listing mark before I started seeing any kind of pattern or regularity in my sales. But really it had more to do with once I passed that point, it's always had more to do with regular activity and being having like the discipline to regularly be working on your store, adding more items, all that stuff. But then it's like, is the stuff that you're selling good? Is it priced well? Do you have good policies? There's a million factors. So
let's see. What does the percent on the promoted listings mean? The higher the percentage, the more impressions and the higher placement you're going to have on the item. That's what it means. Basically, the more you pay, the more visible your item is going to be.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
So Amy says today she turned 63, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Amy.
And going back to the U.S. Postal Service, so here, I don't know the whole story of what's happening as far as eBay is concerned with the over 13 ounces. I will say that over 13 ounces has pretty much always been priority, or for a long time has been priority.
Always
if you
been
buy
priority
it at the post office.
At the post office or on USPS.com. That is counter rate. Those are counter rules. Most online selling platforms, eBay, Etsy, have a negotiated pirate ship have negotiated that first class goes up to 15.99 ounces, and that's been a couple of years now.
Yeah. So as far as like it charging you priority rates through the eBay shipping program, I don't know. Can't answer that question.
Only calculated.
But it's not something new that they've suddenly decided to.
Red Neckerson asked, when he should leave if he's going to walk to eBay Open. I think you should leave tomorrow.
Probably that's a long walk. I do feel like it's going to probably compound your problem with fundage, because that's a lot of time to have your store on vacation. So
River in Motion asked, I heard when you go to eBay Open, you get the concierge service. For how long will you have that? Well, the past 2 years that concierge has existed, that is the case. So if you've gone to eBay Open, you've received eBay concierge service. That is not, we don't know for sure if that will happen again. We don't know for sure how long you have it for. And I haven't not gone to Open. So I've had it for 2 years. Well, it'll be 2 years in July. If that is a guaranteed perk, God love you should go to Open just for that.
As far as I know, they only plan to expand the program. What the timeline for that is, I have no idea. So I would assume that they're going to continue to provide that as a perk for people who come to eBay Open, and hopefully eventually it'll be something that everyone will have access to. But Angie says she wants to thank us for keeping all the drama and BS out of the Facebook group. Yeah, there's definitely, there's plenty of groups that I know when I very first started 3.5 years ago, at some point I was like, I'm going to check and see what's going on with some Facebook groups. And I joined like a few different groups, and there were like a couple that were so, I don't even remember what they were called now, if they're even still around. But I just remember it was so like nonstop horror stories about scams and everything.
And this sucks and eBay sucks and that sucks and my sales suck and I hate you and I'm gonna make fun of this person for asking a question and you should already know that, and how about you use Google? And
I remember it like was so draining, and so it made everything feel so dark. And so I finally had to be like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't be in groups like this. Because I mean, just my personality in general is that I'm a very positive person. I like to approach problems from a problem-solving standpoint. So I just don't like that kind of atmosphere. And I think that when you're surrounded by negativity and everything bad that could possibly happen, that's how you're going to see everything. You're going to see everything through that lens, and it's going to make everything seem like it's super scary and horrible.
I think it's very easy to fall into those patterns because, as we know, there are dozens and dozens of Facebook groups that are eBay related and selling related, and some of them are very, very good, and others are off the rails like that. Everybody's just fighting and trolls, and just I can't stand that type of group. But it is also very, very difficult to control them, and as they get bigger, it's harder and harder to control. So we try our best to keep it a positive teaching environment where people are not afraid to post, people are not afraid to ask questions, and people don't get talked down to for it. There have been 2 people we've had to throw out of the group, exactly 2. And both have been because they were super negative and snarky and just really crappy to other members. And that's really it.
It doesn't serve any purpose. But I would like to point out that Karen Reyes just busted out a $20 super chat. Was that? Karen, thank you for your super chat. I'm gonna write a little song right here for you, because I really appreciate your super chat. Thank you, Karen. And I'm sorry that everybody uses the name Karen for people who are not so cool.
Like, okay, Karen.
Yeah, hi, Karen. I want to know, Karen.
It was Sharon.
Speaking of like of negativity and stuff like that, how does it feel that your name has been co-opted for memes? For memes. I'm hoping that you're cool with it, because
I think it sounds like you're in pain. No, that's me. I'm in pain. I'm right here. By the way,
I hear a lot of like, thanks, Karen.
Red Neckerson Resales did give you $1.66
or
$1.77 super chat earlier. There were so many questions and you were babbling so long you missed it. So I believe you owe him one.
Anyway, Karen, we think you're awesome. Okay. And we really appreciate your super chat. And Red Neckerson Resales. Yay! There you go.
All right.
How's that?
That was good.
I was in a Facebook group once, and somebody made a comment about like the Debbie Downer, like made a reference to somebody being a Debbie Downer, and a woman named Debbie chimed in.
I remember that. She was so upset.
And completely unironically, angrily started talking about how hurtful it was, the phrase Debbie Downer.
I remember that thread.
And literally Debbie Downer the conversation.
Debbie Downer became a downer. Yeah. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Karen says she can take it.
I can take it. That is funny.
Karen is she's taking care of stereotypes over here, okay?
That's right.
Okay. Anyway, so Debbie, if you are a Debbie and somebody says something about being a Debbie Downer, it's okay. We think you're cool.
Such a dork.
Jen says, I just now noticing my t-shirt is Freddie Mercury. Yeah, and then it says, underneath it says, don't stop meow. Don't stop meow. Yeah, see, Karen is cool. I agree. Karen is pretty
Angela asked, does anyone know if there's a way to view how many items you listed in a month if you haven't kept track yourself? Yeah, just go into your seller hub and go into sort by list date. I don't remember what the column is exactly
called. Start date. It is not automatically there. So you have to have at some point on your listings page, you can actually click on customize, and it'll give you the option of all the things that you have show up on your listings page, going across the top. And one of them is start date. And so if you check that box, if you haven't already, then you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to sort it by the start date. So like I'll do it sometimes to be able to see like what my oldest listings are. And then you can get an idea. You can go to whatever day and or go for the whole month and figure out how many. So
DJ asked, does eBay charge you? Sorry, you asked this before. I missed your question earlier. Does eBay charge you for the remaining months on a store contract when you upgrade the store? No, they do not. Only when you downgrade. When you because I just did it. When you upgrade, I upgraded from premium to anchor 2 months ago, and no, they do not. Just know that when you upgrade, and if you're not at the end of a cycle or right at the very end of the cycle, you are going to be paying a prorated fee for up to 2 months of your new store subscription.
Yeah. So I don't know why they do it that way.
I don't know why they do that, because I just paid, instead of the $299, I paid $600 last month when I upgraded. So just so you know that. They're not double charging you. It's just that's the way that they do things.
Yeah. Red Neckerson Resales is motivated and going thrifting. Please put your pants back on.
Put your pants on first.
Put your pants back on, and then go do some thrifting. Yeah, Debbie Downer is an SNL character, and it was Rachel Dratch, and she's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Anyway, what time? Whoa, we're like at 2 o'clock right now. What?
We are.
We got some stuff to do.
That shirt kind of is perfect, isn't it? And I have to thank Sherry Gall for that, because Sherry shared that on Facebook. She had seen that somewhere else, and Katie is a huge Queen fan, so I got her that for Christmas because Sherry gave me that link. So
yeah. Real quick, Jody, how many storage bins do you two have? She said she just bought 16 large storage bins today.
He, not she.
Oh, he. Sorry, Jody. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm horrible. At least he's Canadian, so he'll be very forgiving.
We have a lot.
Hey, Jody. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Anyway, I get the bins that they have at Costco. They're 27-gallon bins. They're those black ones with the yellow lids. And I probably have I'd have to count them. I have room for more. So they work really well. But I probably have I probably have 30 of them, maybe. I'd have to count. I have to go count.
I have 50-gallon bins. So mine are huge. And I have 5 across, 2 down. So I have like 12 or 14. The rest of my stuff is on shelving. So we have floor to ceiling shelving, and we also have, I don't know if you look at some of our really early videos, Katie shows our setup in our garage.
Yeah, I show like how I got it all set up so we can fit
like
all of our stuff.
It's like within the first 5 videos. We have racks, and we have double hanging racks, and there's shelving floor to ceiling. It's a hot mess. I don't know how much more we can fit in there, to be honest with you. It's a little tight.
I actually though have a lot of room because like I said, I could fit another, because mine is, because I only do clothing, I have all my jackets hanging up, and then I actually have, I could probably add another 8 bins at least.
Yeah, I cannot. I need another.
Because mine, they all stack up.
I need a I need another clothing hanging area. Honestly.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm out of space.
Frenchie.
Rude. Late, eh?
All right. Hey guys, it's 2 o'clock. We have a lot of work that we need to do. We got to get a lot of work done. And then we have some impromptu guests that are coming into town tomorrow night. So we're feeling the crunch. So we're going to have to cut this show short. Or we try to keep this one to an hour anyway.
So it's impressive we can fit 2 businesses full of inventory in one garage. It is a 2-car garage. It's like even a 2.5 car practically.
But it's like about 6,000 items in there.
So, yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the show. We super, super appreciate it. And if you haven't heard yet, this Sunday, day after tomorrow, is our 1-year anniversary. It's going to be our 52nd Sunday live haul show. So it's going to be an awesome show. So we're going to look at solds, our highlights over the last year for solds. We will show regular haul items that we found this week because we got some really cool stuff. And we're going to have prizes. So
you have to be watching to win.
Yeah. Teresa.
You must be present to win.
Teresa, T-Money, it's up here somewhere, but T-Money sent us a whole big package of eBay swag. So we're going to have 2 different swag bags filled with all kinds of cool stuff from eBay. We're going to give those out. And then we also are going to have 2 gift cards that we're going to give out. But you have to be with us during the live show
to celebrate our live show
in order to win. So it's going to be super, super fun.
We're going to do a little bit of work. So we're going to have all of our highlights of some of our best solds.
Yep.
And it's going to be exciting.
Yep, it's going to be a really fun show. So
will there be snacks? I don't know. But I did see your Van Halen reference earlier. It made me smile, although I didn't mention it. He's like, I'm here. I've got my pencil.
There'll be Skittles. We'll be eating some Skittles. Anyway, love y'all. And we are excited to do that show, and hopefully we'll see you there.
I am super excited.
Yeah, so get some work done. Enjoy your weekend.
Our usual time on Sunday. So it'll be the 2 o'clock Pacific time on Sunday.
2 o'clock Pacific time. Get some work done. Make sure you carve out a little bit of time this weekend, even if you're working, to do something fun.
I got to go take pictures.
Yeah, pretty much.
And tomorrow I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn because I'm volunteering again at.
Oh, that's gross.
I'm volunteering again, and I have to be somewhere at 6 a.m. So I'm volunteering for the Pancreatic Cancer Purple Stride Walk for my 2nd year in a row. So
way to care about people. Ugh.
It's fun.
Ugh.
I like volunteering.
All right, guys. Love you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.